Let me begin with some examples of Christians behaving badly. The Crusades, that's a big one. The Spanish Inquisition, wars of religion. On a more granular level, certain people we may know or we ourselves who have been harmed by Christians in local churches who thought they were doing right by being judgmental and enforcing something upon us and hurting us. These examples I've given you of Christians behaving badly all stem from one problem: trying to accomplish good by using the tools of evil. And that's what we're talking about today. Hi, I'm Aaron. Welcome to Unapologetics. So, Christians behaving badly is, it's something that harms a lot of us. It does a lot of harm in the world. And I would like to submit to you that never are disciples of Jesus, never are Christian people more at danger than when they are tempted to use the tools of evil to accomplish good. Now, you may be asking, what do you mean? What's a tool of evil, Aaron, and what's good? Well, the good is easy, right? You know what good is. We want a just, equitable, loving, that sort of outcome. The tools of evil, that is, pretty easy to describe too. Unforgiveness, anger and hate, vengeance, war, violence, doing harm to someone else, doing those things. Now, how am I going to connect those? Hold on, and we'll get there. But let me just rephrase again that Christians are at great peril when they think that they will accomplish good by acting in evil ways. Like, that person really deserves this, and so I'm going to do this. That killer deserves to be killed, so we're going to kill them. Now, I'm against that. I do not think that brings about good or healing. That only brings about more murder, more vengeance, because God says it's His job to repay. But that's a good segue into our Jesus and what He says. Now, again, Christians are never more at peril than when they try to use evil to accomplish good. So let me read to you out of the words of Jesus in Luke chapter 6, verses 27 and 28. So let me read this to you here. But I say to you that listen, love your enemies, do good to those who hate you, bless those who curse you, pray for those who abuse you. Shall I read that again just so we hear it? But I say to you that listen, love your enemies, do good to those who hate you, bless those who curse you, and pray for those who abuse you. The words of Jesus in Luke chapter 6. Contrary to everything it seems within us, everything we hear around us, everything we think is the right thing to do. How many of us love those who are our enemies? How many of us pray for those who abuse us? How many of us love those who harm us? Not many, I'm afraid, and I'm probably just as guilty. Now, all of this is a very difficult place to make it to. This is spiritual giant territory. This is like that far country of mythical proportion, where once we get there, oh my word, and I'm not there, I want to get there. Jesus is there. This is the place where Jesus was in this place. When He's hanging on the cross, He's saying, God, forgive them. God, forgive them. They're murdering Him, and He's asking God to forgive them. That's where Jesus is, and oh God, that's where I want to be. And that's where I pray you would be. Because when Christian people act in evil ways, they can never accomplish good. When we go to war to stop war, how well does that work? It just creates more harm and more pain. Now, do I have all the answers? No, I don't. And I'll be straight up with you. I'm still working all of this, working, praying, seeking the answers to all of this. But I know that more war only creates more war. Like smashing mercury on a table. It skitters into a bazillion pieces. It doesn't do away with it. It just spreads it. Killing those who kill people doesn't take away a killer. It just makes more killers. It doesn't bring back the one who was murdered. It just creates vengeance in us. People who judge others harshly because they think they're being moral, being that judgmental. Jesus said, don't be a hypocrite. Tend to the plank in your own eye before you look to the speck in someone else's. Being judgmental is only bringing about more evil. It doesn't heal anything. It doesn't make anyone better. Ostracizing people from a church doesn't heal them. It just makes us angry and bitter. Never are Christians more at risk than when they try to accomplish good using evil. The Crusaders and their leaders thought that by marching warriors into the Holy Land, they could take it back from those awful Muslims. Just made more war. The Spanish Inquisition thought that they would make a more holy Spain by being harsh and judgmental when they just reigned in terror. We only harm when we use the tools of evil. Good never comes from them. And again, this is a place of spiritual giants. This is a place that takes the heart of a lion. I'm going to give you a whole bunch of metaphors. This takes iron resolve to get to this forgiving place, this loving place, this compassionate place where we love those who hate us. We forgive those who harm us. We allow God to repay those who deserve to be repaid in spades. When we get there, that's the world Jesus wanted for us. God wants that for us. Imagine a world where people don't do harm to one another because they were harmed, or they do unto others as they would have done to them. Imagine a world where people don't go to war to stop war. They come up with different creative solutions. If you would like a very serious example of this, how effective this is, I would encourage you, and I know Walter Wink did a lot of research on this. In the last 150 years, how many people have died around the world in political, peaceful revolutions, non-violent revolutions, compared to how many people have died in wars from violent revolutions? I would challenge you to look those numbers up. And the number of casualties and death in the violent revolution camp is astonishing. In the non-violence, very small number of people. Because when we do violence to stop violence, we double the violence. When we don't forgive someone who has not forgiven us, we double the unforgiveness. When we kill someone who is killed, we double the killing. When we do harm to those who have harmed us, we do double harm. It's like your mom and dad told you growing up. 2 wrongs don't make a right. That's the unique message. That's the unique message that the Christian church has for the world right now. You know, it's really fashionable, I would say, for in the United States in 2020 for people to claim that they have the most loving outlook. They are the most loving and accepting, and when really that's not true. I would say it's probably everybody's just the opposite. We only agree with those who love us. We only agree with and love those who love us. Jesus is giving us, and here's the uniqueness of the Christian message, this opportunity to defeat evil once and for all with love, real compassionate love, real forgiving where no forgiveness is required or justified, for being patient and humble, seeking the good of those who want to harm you. Imagine a world like that, and you will imagine the world that Jesus has in mind. Imagine a world where people act in that way, and you will hear the prayer of Jesus come true. Your will be done on earth as it is in heaven. This is amazing stuff. Evil can only be defeated through good, not through more evil. Jesus on the cross only defeated evil on the cross by taking it into himself and letting it stop there. Yes, he was self-sacrificial. Yes, it killed him. But evil stopped there. It was defeated there. Jesus did not continue it. Peter wanted to continue the war. Remember, Peter picked up a sword in Gethsemane and chopped off a dude's ear. And Jesus yelled at him, "Put that stupid sword away," and healed the man who came to arrest him to take him to prison court so he could be murdered. Evil stops when we do not participate in it anymore. Spiritual giants do this. And all of those bad examples I gave you at the front would never have happened if people acted in the way of Jesus, the way of humility and faith, pardon and mercy, grace, forgiveness, hope, rather than the easy, base human emotions of anger and vengeance and what we think is justice. That's the world, the Jesus world. That's the world I want to live in. That's the world I want to be a part of. That's the world I want to propagate. And oh God, forgive me. Sometimes I don't, and I bet you don't either. Sometimes I do right. Sometimes I forgive. Sometimes I give mercy. Sometimes I love. Sometimes I don't. But God leads us forward into that new country of defeating evil with good in the Jesus way. Jesus said, "Those who follow me will pick up their cross and come after me daily, die to themselves daily." Well, that was Paul, I think. But you get the point. Jesus calls us to something new. Because that's what we need to be. We need to be saved from something old. If those old emotions, those old feelings, those old actions of hate and violence and revenge and no mercy, if all that did well, we wouldn't need a Jesus. But we do have a Jesus because all of those things are not what's supposed to be inside of you and inside of me. Humanity is made for more. Creation is made for more. We are made for more than that, and I would encourage you to be more today. Be more than base. Be more than reactionary. Be more than seeking revenge. Be more than tit for tat, giving as good as you get. Be more than that and love where none is deserved. Forgive where it's not asked for. Love the unlovable. Be merciful to the merciless. That's Jesus' way. That's the way of peace and defeating evil. The ways of war and violence, doing unto others before they do unto you, that's the broken rule, not the golden rule. So I'm going to challenge you all today, you and me. I'm going to challenge you and me to stand up and be brave enough to forgive. Brave enough to show mercy, brave enough to show love, brave enough to show hope in the face of evil, and only then will we defeat that evil through Jesus Christ our Lord. Only then will we be true Christ followers. Thanks. I wish you luck. Pray that the Spirit of God would dwell with us all. God help us to do it. See you next time.